Look at these two plants. Both look completely dead, wilted, droopy, sad. But here's the thing, one of them is just sleeping. The other one is being boiled alive by its own soil. If you don't know the difference between these two, you are about to lose your entire summer harvest. I'm talking about the emergency heat code, and today, I'm breaking it down for every single USDA zone, from Zone 5 all the way to Zone 10. And real quick, if you're out there watering your garden at 2 p.m. to save it from this heat wave stop, you might be accidentally boiling your plants alive. I'll explain exactly why in a second. Oh, and stick around, because later I'm going to show you a $2 household item that works better than a professional shade cloth. You probably already have it in your closet. Here's what almost nobody tells you. It's not the air temperature that's killing your plants. It's the soil temperature. Think of your soil like a cast iron pan sitting in direct sun. Even if that soil is wet, if it hits 120 degrees down at the root zone, those roots are basically boiling. Watering more doesn't fix that. Cooling the soil does. Now let's kill a myth real quick. If it's wilting, it needs water. Not always true. Plants like squash and hydrangeas actually wilt on purpose in the middle of the day. It's called transpiration, and it's their way of saving moisture. Think of it like a plant, holding its breath to keep the water inside. If you dump more water on soil that's already wet, you're not helping them. You're setting them up for root rot. So before you water anything, do the knuckle test. Stick your finger straight down into the soil. If it's still damp past your second knuckle, put the watering can down. Your plant isn't thirsty, it's just protecting itself from the heat. Here's a number worth remembering, the 10-degree rule. For every extra inch of light-colored mulch you add, you can drop your root zone temperature by about 10 degrees. So it's not just add some mulch, it's add 2 inches, save 20 degrees. That's the difference between a plant that survives this week and one that doesn't. Real talk, 2 years ago, I lost almost my entire harvest in Zone 8. I was so sure the answer was more water. I was wrong. It was never about thirst. It was soil temperature the whole time. And that mistake is exactly why I built the method I'm about to show you. Quick question before we move on. Drop your zone and the highest temp your garden hit this week in the comments. I want to see how bad it's gotten where you are. All right, pull up a USDA zone map if you don't already know yours. You want to know exactly where you fall before we go further? Zones 5 and 6, the shocked zone. Think Ohio, New York, the upper Midwest. Your plants are not built for 90+ degree days. They're getting shocked. Your move here is mulch thickening. Add 2 extra inches of light, colored straw around your root zones immediately. Not dark wood chips. Light color reflects heat instead of trapping it. And here's the thing, even if you're in Zone 9 and rolling your eyes right now, listen up. A 90-degree day for a Zone 5 plant is like a 110-degree day for a plant in Texas. These plants never hardened off for this kind of heat, so a sudden spike hits them way harder than you'd think. Zones 7 and 8, the humidity trap. This is the Southeast, the Mid-Atlantic. Humidity plus heat is a fungal disaster waiting to happen. Your move, prune the bottom 6 inches of leaves off your plants. That opens up airflow underneath, basically acting like natural air conditioning for the plant. And watch your tomatoes for sun scald. That pale, papery patch on exposed fruit. That's sun damage, not disease. Zones 9 and 10, the desert war. Florida, Texas, Arizona, you are in a literal war zone right now. Get 40% shade cloth up if you can. And mark this down, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is lethal time. Nothing should be in direct sun during that window. Full shade, no exceptions. Now, a trick that works across every zone: deep root saturation. Instead of a light daily sprinkle that barely wets the surface, use a PVC pipe or a deep, watering stake to push water 12 inches down where it actually stays cool. One deep soak beats 5 shallow ones. And here's a myth we need to bust: watering at night causes fungus. Normally true. But in an emergency heat wave, especially in zones 9 and 10, watering at night is genuinely better than letting a plant sit bone dry until 8 a.m. I know the hold timers are going to yell at me in the comments for this one, but survival beats the rule book. In 100-degree heat, a fungus is a problem for tomorrow. A dead plant is a problem for today. 2 more pro moves. First, kaolin clay spray or liquid seaweed and kelp extract. Seaweed extract actually contains natural hormones that help plants handle heat stress at a cellular level. Most home gardeners have never even heard of this. And to be clear, seaweed extract is a biostimulant, not a fertilizer. Think of it like giving your plant a cool glass of Gatorade, not a heavy meal. Second, do not fertilize during a heat wave. Think of it like handing a marathon runner a heavy steak mid-race. It forces new growth the plant physically can't support right now, and that leads straight to burn. Okay, so what about the plants that already look totally crispy? Is there any hope? Here's the snap test. Grab a small twig and bend it. If it snaps clean and it's brown inside, that branch is gone, let it go. But if it bends instead of snapping, or it's green inside, there's still life in there. For anything with hope, here's your revival protocol. Move it into deep shade, stop all fertilizer completely, and give it a kelp-based foliar spray to help it recover at the cellular level. Now, if you're under water restrictions and can't save everything, here's garden triage. Save your perennials and trees first, because those take years to replace. Vegetables come second. Annual flowers come last. You can always replant those next season. And now the $2 hack I promised you. That's it. An old white bedsheet works as an emergency heat shield almost as well as a professional shade cloth. But here's the critical part: it has to be white. Dark colors will absorb the heat and turn your tomato cage into an oven. White reflects the UV rays back up to the sky. It's free, it's already in your house, and it works. Here's what I want to do. I'm building a heat survival map right in the comments section. Post your zone and one plant that's actually thriving right now despite the heat. Let's help each other figure out which varieties can actually take this. And if this video helped, hit like, because once we hit 100 likes, I'm pinning the hidden killer that shows up after the heat wave ends. It's not what you'd expect, and most gardeners don't find out until it's too late. Subscribe if you want the next zone by zone guide the moment it drops. I'll see you in the next one.